Go, going live. Go live. Okay, so let's just. Okay, welcome everyone to a new episode of the Women's Empowerment Series. I have with me a beautiful and incredible guest. I'm so excited to have you, Natasha. I've been waiting for this.
Oh,
Welcome,
me too.
Natasha Nicole Harris, connecting from London. And I am so excited about a beautiful conversation. You are an incredible woman. You are an Akashic Activator and Mentor. And I want to hear about how you became a guiding soul leaders and helping others to leap up, to make an impact, to do it all. Welcome, Natasha.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such a joy to be on your podcast, on your show, here with your followers and your Facebook users. Hello, everybody. It's just great to be here. Always
Let us know as you joining us today, where you're connecting from. Say hello. We want to greet you. And if you're watching us on replay, do the same. We'd love to come back and look at your comments.
Yes.
So tell me, Natasha, what brought you to become that activator? And I don't understand what the word is, so we're going to take time to get to that, but just what brought you to become that guiding mentor?
Oh my goodness. So many twists and turns, so many things on the journey, so many points in my life that have really brought me to where I am today. And I would just like to also add, like, looking forward to seeing what's going to come from it, moving forwards.
I love
that.
But
really, it's been a journey of real self-discovery, really, as we were just talking a little bit about, from my initial background in school and college and university as being a computer programmer.
I love that.
It's really like taking one thing to another and really moving through things and really discovering myself and really tapping into that essence and that joy and that wisdom that I've been sort of keeping quiet for most of my young adult life, and really allowing myself to step into that and to really play in that. And for a long time, keeping the Akashic Records a little bit quiet because, not everybody knew what that was. And when I first started, even with Reiki energy, people were like, oh, don't.
Yeah, Reiki, people start to know what it is. It's energy. We start to really know. So we have people, hello from Canada, from Toronto. Hello. Hello, Jalta from Dublin. Hello, ladies. Oh, it's so great to have you. We're going to go back because this is like very exciting. And you kind of pass through something extremely important that show how smart and high IQ you are. And that's that you went to IT because computer science is not given to everyone. And I salute you, Natasha. This is incredible. And so how did you come to choose computer science as your field of focus when you were young?
Yeah, so I think that's really interesting because, it was something that was, in the, late 80s, early 90s was quite new. And it wasn't really something that was, very much taught in schools. But my sister was working in that field. She's quite a few years older than me. And I was always really curious. And I was like, I wonder what that's all about. And because I didn't really conform at school, it was like I found it really, really hard to do the general academia kind of side of things. And I was always kind of like an average grade student. It didn't make sense to me, traditional schooling and learning things and learning essays and learning things verbatim.
Literature, you mean, like all this literature?
Yeah. So I really kind of was like, I felt like I wanted to do something that was a bit different. And that for me was really an opportunity to do something that was new, that was different, that tested me in a different way and really allowed me to apply learning rather than learning.
Right. So you saw something concrete that you can do with the learning. I love that.
Yeah. So I just really started to follow that and really that allowed me to open some doors, and then went to university and studied that. And then, thought, well, what do I do now? I have to go and get an IT job.
Right.
And kind of fell into the corporate world, and I ended up moving more into computer support and working in an internal IT system, which was more really what I was about, because it was more people focused, more engaging, more like working with people, alongside people and in teams and that side of things. So I really loved it and I really enjoyed it,
I'm sure.
and became a very good project manager as a result of that.
I bet you were. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
How long did you stay doing that for?
So I stayed in IT probably for around 10 plus years, and then I
So
dipped
it's a
in a bit
beautiful career.
in it about. So yeah.
So you're really good at
Yeah. So
managing.
just kind of, yeah, it was an interesting time and an interesting journey. And then really waking up one day and going, is this really what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life? And then the questions started coming in. What else is there? What
What
more can
triggered
I do?
that day? Can you recall it? It's like, what is that?
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
even though it's a long while ago.
yeah, I know, but what is it? Is it a movie you watch? Is it something that, what is that?
I think it really was a moment of waking up. It was like, going back into work again, having the same kind of things coming up, the same challenges, the same problems, the same team
Habitual
problems.
way of being. Yeah.
Yeah,
Repetitive, because that's what it is, right?
repetitive.
Corporate is
And
quite repetitive. Yeah.
yeah, and waking up one day and just saying, and really the question popped into my mind, and it was literally, am I supposed to be doing this for the rest of my life? Have I got another
Wow.
30 to 35 years of doing
Wow.
this?
It's like you stopped and you're like, oh, let me look at how old I am. What am I gonna be doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in
That's
my late
interesting. Yeah.
20s. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
because
was
we all question ourselves, but very few take
mhm.
action,
Yeah.
and that's what you did. And
Yeah.
I salute you for that because it takes a lot of courage to be
Yes.
able to do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. It
What?
seemed it's thank you.
It's
It
true.
it
You
seemed
know?
really like a no-brainer. I remember thinking, well, I can't do this, so I'm gonna have to find something else. And I think I had youth on my side. I was in my late 20s. Like,
So
I
you were
wasn't
young. The
married. I
wake-up
didn't
call
have
came really early for you.
yeah. And
Wow.
I just remember thinking, well, I can't do this, so I'm gonna have to find something else. And that's just been a journey of unfolding ever since. And many things along the path that led me to Reiki. Reiki's a great energy, yes.
I
And
have a
then
nice comment here from Christine. She says Reiki is a good intro to energy. We are all intuitive and have access to our own inner healing capability. That's true. I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
saying more. The weight of the future you want is stronger than the life that no longer resonates, and that's what it is.
yeah.
Actually,
Very
that's what
beautifully
you.
put. Thank you, Christine.
Yeah, but that's but you
Sorry.
you you are embodying it. It's not even we're
Yeah,
not talking about it. You are the
yeah,
representation of what it means. It's like
yeah,
how you gracefully move to another phase in your life.
yeah.
And you do it so
Yeah,
beautifully.
it was really powerful. It was a real moment of, well, gonna have to just gonna have to think about what I want to do moving forwards. And that led me on a beautiful journey, led me down the conservation route because I traveled and really held, planet Earth and,
Mm,
nature and the wisdom of
mm,
communities and that the old, the innate ways of how rural communities work together to support nature and the environment and everything else like that. And that's where
mm,
the soul leaders come in, because it's this deeper burning to bring back, to do good, to contribute in a different way, however
mm.
that is, not just about nature, but just through all the work that we're doing, all the powerful work that we're doing, everything that we want to step into change and create a new future and a new way forwards.
Yeah.
So it really is calling in those
I
people.
love that because I see how you reconnected with the source of life, which is nature, the planet.
Yeah, it's always
And
been.
it's incredible. And it's you call it soul leaders, but it's really leaders that are so humane, so connected with the
Mhm.
origins. And
Yeah.
so how did you escalate to become that lever of energetics and understanding?
Yeah, I think it was really step by step, started to work with yoga and the breath and coming back to the self and recognizing how that really impacted me. And then, it was the Akashic Records find us. I think it's just one of those things that just like find us in the moment where we really need it. But Reiki is very much the same. Energy work is very much the same. And it was a moment of seeing something about doing first level Reiki, and I was like, oh, and I really didn't even know what that was. I was like, what is Reiki? I've heard of it. And okay, I'm curious. I'm free that weekend. Let's go do
Yeah.
it. And I've always been a little bit like that. See something, go, oh yeah, that sounds interesting. Let's go and see what it's about. And I remember at the end, like during that weekend, was like, I don't get this. My logical IT
Of
brain
course,
doesn't
oh yes, girl.
understand
You
this.
gotta see
Like,
numbers to understand. I know that.
what is
Okay.
all this about? But my body felt it. My body got it. And it was like, oh, wow, this is really interesting. There feels like there's something here for me. And at the end of that weekend, the teacher said, oh, and I'm running level 2 in a few months. I've got a couple of spaces. And my hand literally just went up. It was like, and I remember looking at my hand going, I think I might be doing that.
Wow.
And she's like, yeah, it looks like you are. So it was like this wisdom was starting to come through me and out of me.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So did you feel like your hand is doing things that you did not initially, ask for?
No,
Yeah.
no, I had no intention. I was like, didn't even know she did it. There was a level 2, didn't know it. And it was literally my hand was raised and I was like, what's my hand doing up? It's like it
Incredible.
was really a moment of that. And that just really led me on a beautiful path of like understanding the energies, playing with the energies. And I think I've always been playing in the Akashic field a little bit
So
and reading.
Akashic, I want you to explain what does it mean for someone
Yeah,
who has no idea. Let's talk
yeah,
to, just basic mind,
yeah.
brain.
Yeah. So I love to explain it because for me, it has to be really, really simple
Okay.
because the Akashic records are infinite and vast.
Yeah.
I won't miss this at all. So yeah, it's like the Akashic records are vast and infinite. Like when we think about Reiki and energy, Akashic records are the vastness of the universe. So but we have to be able to understand it and comprehend it with our minds, like our
Mhm.
logical minds. It has to make sense. So for me, if we think about everything being energy, everything has an energetic resonance. Everything we think, say, do, feel, act, take action on has an
Yeah.
energetic resonance that we put out into somewhere, right?
Yeah.
We know that energetically. And we know that scientifically. We also know that we can't destroy energy. We can't kill energy. We can't like go, I've had a thought, I'm just going to wipe that from the face of the universe. I never had it. We've had the thought, the energetic resonance is there, but we can change the thought. We can change the thought, go be aware of the thought and go, oh, okay, I had a thought, it's out there, but actually, you know what? I'm going to change that thought, that belief, that feeling from, sadness to joy, despair to hope, whatever those feelings are, we can transform it. So if we can't destroy the energy, where does it go? If we leave an imprint of an energetic footprint of
Yeah.
something we thought, said, done, spoken, where is it? And so that is what we call the Akashic Records. And
Yeah.
it's spoken about in the Bible as the book of life. So it literally is like an energetic book, an energetic database of everything we've ever thought, said, done, spoken, transformed, the original imprints in there, the transformed imprints in there. And so we can go back and read, energetically read that about ourselves and what we were and where things come from and things that are kind of imprinted in our Akashic records.
So where can we go and read about it? That's the big
Um,
question.
So we can go to a healer, we can go to a reader to read our Akashic records and
And they
support
will
us.
be able to.
Yeah, yes.
How? Yeah. I
The
mean,
very logical
I'm
mind.
an engineer.
Yeah,
I'm a scientific
yeah.
mind.
So
Like
a little bit like Reiki energy. So
it's like
so if I can sort of liken it a little bit to that. So when we've got a client in front of us, because we can also do distance Reiki, but if we think
okay.
about a client lying on a Reiki table and we're
Right.
feeling their energy and we can get a sense of something. So
Yeah.
as we tap more and more into those energies, we get more of a sense of the energies that are coming up for that client. We might be feeling things in certain energy parts of the body,
Oh.
stuckness, things that are they're holding
So
on to.
you mirror the feelings.
Yes. So
That's
we
how
can
you sense
get
it.
a sense of it, and then
Yeah.
we help the client on that table to transform it, move it out, release it, and move it out so they can go and have a different experience. It's
That's an
very similar.
incredible gift, Natasha, you have there.
I think we
It is.
all have this gift.
Yes.
Yes, this physical world and the spiritual world. Yeah, thank you for that, because for
Yeah,
me it's
but that's
so
what you do. That's why I'm
important.
asking the question, because that's what you do. And I think the fact that you were in an IT and a very structured environment, when you ask people ask you how does it work, then you have your scientific mind. I was like, okay, I think they want to understand it this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful because, we again, it's about, as you teach, it's around really having that belief, but it's about the action that supports that. It's the same when we're talking about the spiritual world. We need to have the action and the physical representation of that to transform it here in the physical, so we can go out and do something different. So we're just playing with the energy, we're moving the energy, we're transforming the energy, and we're rewriting that record, the Akashic record, from
Incredible.
one imprint to a new imprint that's going to support us to have a new belief, a new way of doing things, a new expression of ourselves and who we are.
Isn't that so valuable? I mean, your voice is so important, because imagine if you bring to that, and that Christine just said it, to the tech word and all the brainy people,
Yeah.
and tell them how you can find your peace inside
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
realign, be happy,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So,
Wow.
so it just, the Akashic records just really are another tool for us to be able to shift that energy. But for me, what feels, different around the Akashic records is that this is literally, the Akashic record came into existence the moment our soul came. So the energetic self,
So it's,
the,
yeah, the
our soul
history is
influence.
really, yeah. Which
Yeah.
means that it's just so, yeah, it is a soul reconnection. It
Yeah.
is a soul understanding. It's
Yeah.
almost like it's I mean, I see it more as a, from the physic perspective, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
energy never get lost, right?
Yeah.
It's either transformed, it's either transmuted, but it's somehow flowing somewhere. And so it's always there.
Yeah.
But then if you want to shift it, you need to understand
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah.
That would help so many people with,
Yeah.
with what they carry from the past, what they
Yeah.
carry with their heritage, isn't it?
Yes.
Because we go back.
Oh my goodness, because we carry so much, if we believe, the Akashic records is very much around our past life experiences, how we transform through different lifetimes. But it's also, our genetic,
Genetic.
the things that we're bringing back through heritage, through our generational lines that we are also encoded with. And so the Akashic records help us to heal that for ourselves, but then also the beauty of it is healing it through those genetic lines as well. So we're not just doing it for ourselves. My belief, and the part of it that I feel so passionate about, is it also helps us to shift it on the collective consciousness.
Incredible.
So
Incredible.
we're actually shifting it a little bit for everybody if they choose, but we're contributing to something greater, because all of our Akashic records are connected. And so it's like when we spark a little light out in the universe here, someone else can feel it, and it helps and enables that shift to occur. And so it just ripples it around.
So do you see this as a healing process, or do you see it as an understanding?
Both.
Where do you fit your work?
Both. Very much both, because I think we have to, as we've just mentioned, we have to understand it,
Yeah.
in order to change it. Like,
But and understanding it, because no one really understand it, right? Because
yeah,
it's just so profound and big and just
yeah,
infinite.
yeah,
It's more be the awareness of their
yes,
existence.
yes,
So it's
yeah,
like to just be aware, to
yeah,
accept, to like, there is something out there.
yeah,
Just the fact that you start being conscious about it.
yeah,
Because
yes.
do we really understand it? Do we really?
I don't think we understand. Oh my, I'm tingling
No,
already. I don't think we understand the vastness of it, because this is
no,
the
because
beauty. This
it's
is the
infinite.
beauty, right? It's
Infinite.
like,
It's like, yeah. I agree. It's like there are dimensions we don't see. We can just trust that they are there.
Yes. Yes.
And the
And
trusting, yeah.
yeah, the trust is so important, I feel,
Yes.
because when we feel it, and when we trust that feeling, so when it's like the Akashic Records came to me, I'm like, my head doesn't know what that is, but my body knows
Yeah.
what it is,
Yeah.
and I can feel it, and I trusted that feeling and followed the little thread, the
Incredible.
little blip in the matrix that just went
But
ring.
yeah, but okay, so this is good because let's deepen that further. Your
Yeah,
head doesn't understand it. Your conscious mind, which is like the 5%, right, of what we
yeah,
have.
yeah,
But your subconscious mind was aligned, was an energetic match to
yeah,
us. That's how you attracted it, right?
yes,
Because
yeah.
it doesn't come to everyone, does it? No.
I think we have it. I think we all have it within us. It's
Yeah.
really interesting. I mean, the more people that I talk about it with, they're like, oh, I can kind of get that. And I had a beautiful conversation with my 96-year-old dad a couple of months ago, and he
Oh
knows
my,
what I do. And he's
that's
like, he understands. He's like, Natasha, if you're helping people, go do it. I respect you.
I
You're
love
bright. You're
that.
intelligent woman. Go do it. But I know he doesn't really get it. And then a couple of months ago, he said, can you explain it to me a little bit more? And I sat down and I probably had this kind of conversation, and he went, I still don't get it, but I get why that makes sense.
Oh
He's
wow.
like, that makes sense. What you're saying is it makes sense.
But that's incredible, right? Because
Yeah,
your dad was proud of you that you
yeah,
went to IT. Now
yeah,
you're explaining to him how
yeah,
you're focusing on something else and
yeah,
he gets it. I
yeah.
think it's incredible.
It was just such a moment of like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I can explain
Because
it to my 96-year-old dad that doesn't really have a spiritual body,
and
bless him, but he
when
does.
you are in 96, you'll be proud of what you've created. And I
Yeah,
think that's what we want. We want
yeah,
ourselves
yeah,
when we are always like, I did something beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you use at all your logical mind through all of this? Because Natasha is still Natasha, right? The IT, the
Yes.
engineer, the smart, the high IQ, you're there. Where is it now? How do
So
you
for
use it?
me, it really is in explaining and bringing about that awareness for my clients. That's
Yes.
where it comes in, because if I tap into the energy of the Akashic Records and I'm channeling a past life experience where this has come up and this energy is holding them back, and this now wants to be activated to support them to step more into who they
Yeah.
are, into their soul essence, and move forward and shine their light more brightly, then it's got to make sense to them, because otherwise
Yes.
it's like, oh yeah, I had a past life that felt tough, okay, but I don't know how that relates to me today.
Mm.
So for me, it's about really helping and supporting that client to understand how that energy could be showing up today. And so if it's an energy, say if the overall energy of that past life is a lack of self-worth, that was the energy that they embodied, the coding that they put in,
Right.
that is at the heart chakra, that
Yeah.
they're going to really struggle in today around relationships and their worthiness of about being loved. And
Right.
so when I explain it in that way to a client,
It's
they're
logical.
like, well, that's totally me. I
Yeah.
totally feel that. And then they can join the dots, and then they have the power within them to change it.
I
How
love
can
that.
they start shifting to a mindset of being worthy around being loved, of loving themselves first, of being more open to receiving love, not just giving it out, and all of these things. And that's what changes, and that's what creates the profound shift. And then we embody an energy, or we code for that client an energy of worthiness or love or gratitude or celebration or something of that
Or
field,
joy or
and
yeah.
then they can celebrate themselves. So say if it's an activation code of celebration, it's like they get to celebrate themselves
So
more.
you basically help them elevate their frequencies and their energies. And you said something so powerful, which is you help them connect the dots.
Yeah,
And isn't that what programming and IT is? You kind
yeah,
of really
yeah,
program and you ended up really connecting the dots of it so that it all makes sense.
yeah, yes, because it
And
has to make sense.
it does. If it doesn't, but that's why. And I think what I love about your work, and and I attract into my life people that are scientific, and so it's like I had no surprise that you had a scientific background,
Yeah,
because it's just the ease of a language becomes understandable. You can explain it with 1 plus 1 and the coding and everything, but you can still use the same logic and the same frequency
Yep.
explaining something that has nothing to do with the coding.
Yeah.
Yet it is coding
Yeah.
at the end of the day, because that's
Yeah.
what you're doing, really.
Yeah.
It's
Yes. Yeah. Reprogramming, recoding.
reprogramming the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And and the super conscious and the super conscious. And
Yeah.
it's so beautiful when, you do readings for clients that you've never met, and these experiences and the energetics and the coding comes up and the transformation, and you have no idea how it lands. You have no idea how that client is going to understand it, consciously bring it into play. And when they feed that back and say, oh, this is what I'm playing out, it's the proof after proof after proof of the beauty of this, of how it then plays out and empowers the client to start walking differently on their path. It really is. And giving them the little seeds that they can carry with them and start watering to allow them to have that for themselves is really beautiful. And I've done so many energy healings and things like that, where people have said, oh, we've healed this out of your, and then I'm like, well, now what do I do? And they're like, oh, it's all done, it's okay. And then I'm like, 6 months later, I'm like, did anything really change? Because I wasn't an active participant in the shift.
Incredible.
And something may have changed, but I think when we become responsible for taking those seeds, watering them, or first of all planting them, watering them, nurturing them, taking care of them, shifting them, then the transformation still takes a bit of time, but it's like it's more beautiful, and we feel like we've done it.
And and I think you expressed it so beautifully, because it just it is, because this is like you coming back to earth, you coming back to nature, you coming back to the force of creation, which is all start with the grains and the seeds that you put in. But and the seeds energetically, it's just you being aware of their existence, because you don't see them.
Yes.
And that's what's always difficult for every people to understand. You said it yourself, nothing changed, you won't see it, but you're aware. The fact that you're aware, you lighten something. It's like a spark.
Yeah.
Start of a spark.
Yeah. And that's, and that's what I really, hope for us all, is that we spark and shine a little bit more brightly, that we can sprinkle more of that for ourselves, and we can ripple that
magic
out.
Sparks. And it all starts with you being aware of that magic.
Yes.
This is beautiful. We reached an incredible conclusion. This is like the coding, how everything is logic. You demonstrate things. And that's how we did. We really demonstrated that at the end is each one has the power to bring the magic in their life.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. We are so powerful that we can't even recognize that. It's a bit like when we're talking about infinity, everything is infinite. We don't even know what we don't know yet. When I teach this stuff, I'm like, there's more going to come. There's going to be more layers. There's going to be more information that comes through as consciousness expands, and as we become more and more aware.
More and more. It's like our conversation today. We didn't know that at the end, the conclusion, because that's what's always fascinating, because we want to have all the beautiful ladies and people, and we have also men watching us often, is that at the end, what do we conclude from all this conversation, from a scientific brain, like so structured and logical, coming to understand the energetic of life? And then what do you say as conclusion? That everybody has the power.
Yes, everybody. We all do. We all hold that within us. Yes. Oh my goodness.
And each one has, and that magical spark is just you being aware of putting it. That's the seed. But that's what you help people do, right? Like they can come to you to help them get that magical seed in, right?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It's like when we feel like we're going over a pattern of behavior over and over again, we're like, in relationships, around our health and well-being, around business, around money, and we're like, oh, I'm here again. What's going on? It feels a bit looser, but I'm here again. And it's like, what's going on? And often people say to me, like, I've done the mindset work, but I feel like there's something deeper. Like there's something that it is past life, or it's generational stuff that I can't quite
access.
shift completely out of my frequency. And that's where most people come and go, I've done some of this work before. They are aware of it. They have an understanding of it. And it's like, let's find out that root cause. Where did you plant that coding? Where did it stem from? Let's heal that. Let's release yourself from it, from that lifetime. The reason why you carry this coding, it's very real. It's very, it feels very visceral. It's still held within us. Let's heal it. Let's release it, and let's activate for something new. And that's why people come to me, either for single sessions, multiple sessions, mentoring over a period of time to really walk their spiritual path, or actually as well to learn how to access the Akashic Records for them and to work with their clients around it as well.
That's incredible. So whoever wants to have access to the Akashic record, the energetic healing, Natasha is. I have dropped your link, your how to meet you. So whoever wants to get that spark, because you brought so much magic in this women's empowerment series, and I am so happy. This was so fun.
It was. Thank you.
This was like a reconfirmation that magic is in you.
Yes.
Everyone listening to us.
Every single
drop
one.
Your spark anytime you want.
Yeah.
And let it incubate. You never know when it starts pouring, right?
Yeah, it's powerful, and we are powerful beyond measure. And we're only using, like you were saying about the brain being conscious 5%. It's like the magic that we're using within our capabilities is as small. So we want to sprinkle more magic out into the world and allow it to ripple.
This is beautiful. Well, thank you so much. This was a beautiful last word. Thank you. Let's sprinkle more magic.
So much. Let's go and go forth and sprinkle more magic.
Bring it on.
Thank you so much,
everyone, for
coming. Thank you for watching.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.